Welcome back to the channel, your go to destination for deep dives into the cosmic mechanism that shapes our lives. If you have ever wondered why Gemini energy feels so distinct, or how Mercury's placement changes the entire game of your personality, you are in the right place. Today, we are going beyond the surface level horoscope to explore the actual mechanism of the sign of communication. We are breaking down the core nature of Gemini, the complex birth of Mercury, and what it means for your life depending on where the energy falls in. Gemini represents areas where you already have a preconceived notion or a subconscious circuit. It governs your hobbies, the way your brain processes information, and your immediate environment. Interestingly, Gemini is a self centered sign. It acts like a child or a sadhak focused purely on its own development. It often starts as a copycat, observing a guru to learn a skill before eventually developing its own unique style. Mercury is a child of the moon and Tara. Because of this illegitimate birth, Mercury is famously known for needing a base. It needs other planets like the Sun or Venus to give it solid direction. When Mercury pairs up, the results are fascinating. Mercury and Mars create sharp, quick debaters. Mercury and Rahu are the ultimate combination for hackers and coders. Mercury and Ketu points to deep spiritual knowledge and highly secure encrypted mind. Gemini naturally rules the third house, which is our neighborhood indicator. Ever noticed how your environment changes based on your planets? Mars nearby often points to police or military presence. Jupiter might bring schools or neighbors giving free advice. Saturn can indicate factories or older, thrifty neighbors. Also, remember the rule of the three. Mercury is a multiplier. If it's in the fourth house, expect three properties. If in the seventh house, it often points to three significant relationships. Now, let's look at how Gemini energy manifests across different charts. Aries ascendant, you likely multitask while driving and have a strong sense of ownership over your awards. Taurus ascendant, you possess insatiable curiosity and often act as the middleman in the family settings. Cancer ascendant, you might struggle with paperwork and often seek out hacks to save money on subscriptions. For Leo ascendants, friendship feel like sibling bonds, and you are often adept at learning through observation. Virgo ascendant, career path often center on sales, marketing, or communication. You likely earned money at a young age. For Libra ascendant, you prefer the internet or chat GPT over traditional learning and admire the intellect of poets and artists. Scorpio ascendant, you are a keeper of secret and often act as a silent mentor to others. Sagittarius ascendant, you may have explored mature themes early and possess a chameleon quality mirroring your mentor. Capricorn ascendant, you function as a high-level creator, perhaps as a technical writer or content strategist. Aquarius ascendant, you are an avid, detail-oriented reader who always keeps a plan B in your mind. Pisces ascendant, you are deeply supportive of your elder sibling and may display a childlike aesthetic in your personal taste. Now let's cover different planets in Gemini. As Gemini's ruling planet, Mercury is at home here. This placement enhances quick-wittedness, adaptability, and an ability to absorb and process vast amount of data. It favors activities like writing, research, and networking. However, it can also lead to distraction, nervousness, or a tendency to use humor to avoid sticky or emotional conversations. Mars in Gemini. As Mars, the planet of energy, is an intellectual sign, creates a pen is mightier than the sword dynamic. Native are often gifted in debate, teaching, or creative communication. While they possess great mental energy, they may struggle with concentration, often jumping between projects and leaving them incomplete. Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter is considered to be in detriment in Gemini, meaning the expansive nature of Jupiter may feel restricted by Gemini's focus on small details. This placement encourages an inquisitive mind and open-mindedness. It is beneficial for careers in publishing, law, or consulting. Caution is advised regarding gossip or superficial arguments. Venus in Gemini seeks variety and intellectual stimulation in love. It fosters a playful, flirtatious, and social atmosphere. Relationships often center on shared learning and conversation. The challenge is to avoid spreading oneself too thin by juggling too many interests or connection. Saturn brings structure and limitation to Gemini's natural fluidity. This can lead to a very clear and disciplined intellect, but may cause difficulties with financial stability or strained relationship with sibling. It is often associated with a serious approach to education and communication. Rahu in Gemini. Rahu amplifies the Gemini trait of curiosity, networking, and trade. It creates master strategist, powerful communicator, and ambitious thinkers. Natives often excel in media, business, and technology, though they must manage restlessness and a tendency towards overthinking. Ketu in Gemini, this placement may cause a sense of disillusionment with traditional communication or intellectual pursuits, pushing the native towards more intuitive or spiritual insights. It can sometimes lead to instability in partnerships or a feeling of mental chatter that requires spiritual practice like meditation to calm. Sun in Gemini represents the core identity and how one exerts energy. When Sun is placed in Gemini, this individual focuses on areas where they have already formed a preconceived notion or a subconscious circuit. Because their internal notions are already set, these individuals often struggle to listen properly as their brain processes their response before the other person has finished speaking. They function as a copied entity initially when they perfectly copy a guru in a specific field such as music, coding, or astrology before eventually developing their own unique style once that phase is complete. Moon in Gemini, this placement highlights the person's focus on day-to-day life skills, hobbies, driving skills, the subconscious brain, and the immediate neighborhood or surroundings. The individual's mind acts as a CPU that is constantly processing information. Gemini's energy is inherently self-centered and works for itself. Therefore, you cannot expect a Gemini dominant person to go out of their way to help others unless there is a personal interest involved. Mercury, the ruling planet of Gemini, is completely gender neutral, representing things where gender does not matter, such as art, nature, and waterfalls. When the lord of the third house, natural Gemini, dominates the seventh house, or if Mercury is heavily afflicted or dominant in houses like the first, seventh, or 12th, it can manifest as duality in sexual attraction, bisexuality, or homosexuality. Certain combinations can create challenges in this area. For example, if Mercury is combined with Saturn on the 1-7 axis without the influence of Mars, it can potentially lead to severe sexual problems or impotence. The combination of Mercury and the Moon is often associated with issues regarding marrying someone the native does not love or being unable to marry the one they love. This combination is Chandravanshi combination. Information is power, and knowing your chart is your ultimate superpower. Stay witty, stay wild, and keep shining. You are a Gemini. The universe would not be the same without your energy. Hit subscribe to keep the conversation going, and I will see you in the next alignment.